Hi there, thank you so much for joining me today. In today's video, I will be addressing certain questions that we receive from people trying to move from the United States to Canada. It is important to note that immigrating to Canada is not an easy process, and it is very important to know what is required of you prior to coming to Canada. Is it possible to just move to Canada? This entirely depends on how you first enter Canada. For instance, as an American, you do not require a visa to enter Canada, you just require an electronic travel authorization. However, usually when you enter Canada, unless of course otherwise stated, your stay can only be up to 6 months. When entering Canada though, the immigration officer must be satisfied that you would exit the country at the end of your authorized stay. Therefore, as a visitor to Canada, you cannot permanently reside in Canada for over 6 months. Additionally, you would not be able to work in Canada without proper authorization. Conclusively, if you would like to immigrate to Canada permanently, then you must apply for permanent residency in Canada in order to do so. Can my criminal record prevent me from moving to Canada? Unfortunately, your criminal record can definitely prevent you from moving to Canada. For instance, say you have a criminal conviction or offense from several years or even decades ago and you completely forget, and the immigration officer discovers it, you would then be deemed inadmissible due to criminality in Canada. Therefore, if you would like to move to Canada permanently, you must first overcome your criminal inadmissibility prior to moving to Canada permanently. A solution to overcome your criminal inadmissibility would be applying for either a temporary resident permit or a criminal rehabilitation application. We do have videos on both of those topics, so please feel free to view them if you'd like. Can my health condition prevent me from moving to Canada? So similar to the criminal inadmissibility, if you have medical inadmissibility, this can also prevent you from coming to Canada. Of course, this entirely depends also on the severity of your health condition. Ultimately, if your medical inadmissibility comes from a health condition that can be a risk or a threat to Canadian society, then that would make you medically inadmissible to Canada. An example of a medical inadmissibility health condition would be a contagious disease or illness. If you have this condition and it is deemed to be contagious and the immigration officer deems you to be medically inadmissible, they can deny your entry into Canada. So similar to the criminality, you must overcome your medical inadmissibility prior to moving to Canada permanently. Am I able to bring my pets with me when I move to Canada? This is actually a very common question. So essentially, when you're moving to Canada, the Canadian Border Services Agency must ensure that your pet actually meets the entry requirements for animals. Therefore, if your pet does meet the requirements, then they can definitely move with you to Canada. Does Canada have a green card? If so, how can I get one? Canada does have a card that is similar to the green card, but instead of calling it a green card, we call it a permanent residency card. This permanent resident card is actually used as proof to show your status as a permanent resident in Canada. Similar to the green card, the permanent resident card actually allows the permanent resident to live and enter Canada freely. Are there income tax consequences if I move to Canada from the US? So thankfully, there are no income tax consequences if you move from the United States to Canada. Canada and the United States actually have a tax treaty that avoids double taxation and helps with fiscal evasion in terms of taxes on income and capital. Therefore, moving from the United States to Canada should not be a difficult process with regards to taxes. The biggest difference between the United States and Canada with regards to taxes is that the United States taxes are based on citizenship, whereas Canada is based on permanent residency. If you have any further questions with regards to moving from the United States to Canada, please feel free to contact us. We'd be happy to help and answer any further questions that you may have. Furthermore, if you would like to book a consultation with Akrami & Associates, please feel free to contact us as well. Here at Akrami & Associates, we have dealt with many different immigration matters and have helped many of our clients move from the United States to Canada. Therefore, if you are an American and would like to move to Canada, please do kindly call us. Thank you so much, and with Akrami & Associates, there's always a way.